you have advice that you would give yourself, like 25-year-old self?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I would probably tell myself that the skills that I was learning at 25 years old, where I was working as an HR generalist, um, that they really and truly were still going to be informing the decisions that I made 11 years later. Like now, I'm
Really?
still, oh yeah, like I'm still consistently referring back to what I used to do in HR shared services, where I started out, with a larger company in HR. Actually, I think that's where I was 10 years ago, was HR shared services. But I still refer back to that, and I still try to, work on process improvements like I did 10, 12 years ago. And it's something that, you think that when you get to a higher level, you won't have to do that kind of stuff anymore. But I enjoy that stuff, and it's something that, I try as much as I can to help others learn through my experience, so they don't have to learn the hard way like I did in a lot of my roles. I'd also probably tell myself to buy a whole bunch of Bitcoin at that point too, but
Yeah,
other than that,
that time machine would have been very, very like lucrative.
that would have been pretty awesome. But yeah, I would say just that making the right decisions is going to drive your career, and you're going to have to refer back to what you've done, and what you've done is what you've done. And so that's what your experience is, and that's what you're going to be able to rely on in the future.
Yeah, that's really interesting because you read so many articles talking about how the workforce has changed so much and everything's evolving. That's
Hmm.
interesting that you still pull on your experience so much
Oh
because
yeah.
when you start reading articles, it seems like things are changing at such a rapid pace. That's very interesting.
Yeah, I mean, and I would say too, it's true. Like things are changing, in the HR space, not just technology. Things are changing rapidly every single year. Things are
Hmm.
a little differently, especially this year with COVID. But what you've done doesn't become irrelevant, because you've learned through experience. And since it was in the past, it was probably more difficult to get done because you didn't have as good a technology as you do now. It's just important to realize that understanding it really well and making the right decisions in your job where you're at will continue to inform how you interact with your customers, or they're going to, what decisions you're going to make on your career path in the future.